This is Monica with Looking for Group. Today I'm here with Courtney James, the Director of Student Involvement and Esports at DePaul University. How are you doing today, Courtney?
Great, Monica. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for being here and taking some time to answer these questions. I'm excited to learn more about the program that you built at DePaul. So, without further ado, I'm just going to jump right in. Can you tell me how the program got started and how you got involved here as Esports Director?
Yeah, so DePaul has a robust history of students who have been interested in gaming, particularly from a co-curricular side. We have a lot of students who study esports and game design, business management, marketing, all of those different fields. But we really did have a robust side on the co-curricular side as well. So back in January 2018, we had a group of students, faculty, and staff get together to figure out how we could really formalize institutional support for esports as a co-curricular activity. And really our program was born from that. So our program has a few different core components. We have our esports gaming center, we have recreational events and experiences, our competitive teams, but all of that really came together to form our program. And I became involved as the director for it, really because it really marries itself well as a student engagement experience. You know, without sounding too nerdy for a second, I'll talk about there was some nationwide data a few years ago that said that 47% of students who are involved in esports and gaming aren't involved in anything else on college campuses. Well, we ran a similar study at DePaul and surveyed our 1,300 students who are involved in our esports community. And what we found is that we're right on par with that. 48% of our students who are involved in esports and gaming aren't doing anything else on campus. So this is a really important part of the student experience at DePaul, which is why it ended up in my wheelhouse.
Excellent. And I'm really interested in that co-curricular piece that I think we're going to get to later in the interview, but I want to go ahead right out the gate and ask about the games you're playing. What sorts of games are you competing in, and what sort of games are you playing casually with your students?
Yeah. So we are the nation's largest Catholic school, and we're also a Vincentian institution, which means that care about people or talk a lot about serving people on the margins. And one of the things that we say in our gaming center is that we're talking about gaming while honoring human dignity. One of the things we decided early on was that we were going to commit to titles that were T and below, but any title that we decide is really based on, that we play in the center or that we have teams for, is really driven by student interests. So in a given year, we have anywhere from 18 to 22 teams, again, based on student interest. But our varsity titles we have 6 varsity titles in Overwatch, Rocket League, League of Legends, Super Smash Brothers, Valorant, and Beat Saber, our virtual reality team as well. And then the remaining teams, again, based on interest, are all our JV and academy level teams that organize and play competitively.
So you're the first institution I've spoken with that has a virtual reality team, and I'm really interested in hearing a little bit more about that if you'd like to talk about it.
Oh yeah, they compete in the CVRE, the Collegiate Virtual Reality Esports League. So it's a pretty small league right now. I think I'm trying to count the logos on their website. I think that they're right around 20 schools. They play Echo. The league does Echo Arena and Beat Saber, and our students are just participating in the Beat Saber part. But it's a really unique experience because they'll come into the gaming center and we have a setup that for a VR setup right now. But now in the times of COVID where everything's more remote, they're all participating remotely in it as well. But it really runs the gamut. They competed against the University of Illinois last week, but then they competed against Detroit Mercy 2 weeks ago. So it's really fun to watch, and again, it's just a great way for our students to represent and join in and compete and come together.
Yeah, man, as a Beat Saber lover, I want to come apply, but I think I've missed the opportunity. um,
Yeah, they have a lot of fun.
I'm sure it sounds amazing. Now, I do want to switch gears a little bit. You mentioned about the VR equipment. I want to know a little bit more about the space you might have on campus for the students to play. I know with COVID and the pandemic, things might have shifted a little bit this year from how you've handled it in previous years. But if you'd just like to share some basic information about the space, what types of equipment you have available, and who's able to use the space.
Yeah. So before I talk too much about the space, there's something you have to know about DePaul. So DePaul is really unique in the sense that we're one campus, but we're located in two different parts of the city. So it's very common, especially in non-COVID times, for our students to travel in between campuses, even on a given day. They might have a 9 a.m. class in Lincoln Park, and then they might have a noon class in the Loop. So Lincoln Park is our school that is in, it feels more like a traditional campus. And then the Loop is a school in high rises. So our gaming center is located in our Loop campus, which is where our College of Computing and Digital Media, College of Business, and College of Communication and College of Law all are at. But in that facility, we have 13 Alienware PC stations that's fully outfitted with gaming chairs, all sorts of, all of the peripherals, all sorts of different equipment for students to use and to compete with. And then we also have 4 console setups because we have a very, very robust Smash community that loves to go into that space as well. So that's the permanent fixtures, but then we also have some mobile equipment. So we have some Alienware laptops that if we have to do a setup in Lincoln Park, we're able to do. And then we have a number of different consoles that we lend out to our student organizations and teams so that they can use and participate in different events as well. So we really try and be as flexible as we can with our community. So all of our spaces are open to any DePaul student, which I think is, something that makes us a bit unique. It's not exclusionary. Anyone is welcome, which is why our numbers are so high for our community. 1,300 students is almost 10% of the student population that's coming into our space and taking advantage of our programs. And we're really proud of that number because it really does showcase just the level of interest at DePaul. We do close off the space every once in a while for practices and competition, but that's made well aware. But anyone who is a student and is interested at DePaul is welcome to come on in.
Excellent. It definitely sounds like a really robust space you got going on there, and lots of students funneling through. And I'm sure you've noticed that the gaming community in and of itself definitely an umbrella, but there are two components of the gaming community, casual and competitive, that seem to
Hmm?
have different objectives. And with all those different students coming through, I'm wondering, how do you foster that unique gaming community with both the casual and competitive components? And what are your expectations of your competitive students?
Hmm? Yeah, so our a little bit about our community. About 90% of our community are casual gamers, and then the other 10% are competitive. So we do create and facilitate experiences that are different for it. So for our casual community, we have all of the normal staples that you would see in a lot of different programs. Our Discord, our casual gaming space, all of those different things. We also have
What?
basically an intramural style league for students to participate in. So we do that weekly. They're one-off events, and we rotate through a number of different titles. So that, in tandem with some pop-up events, different things like that, creates a really robust really robust experience for students who are casual gamers here at DePaul. Then, when it comes to our varsity, JV, academy level teams, we really invest in the student leadership to make sure that they have the skill set that they need in order to be successful and facilitate those experiences. So a number of our different teams have coaches that they work hand in hand with to coordinate practice schedules, to refine skill sets, all of those different things. But then we work with the individual student leaders to make sure that they have what they need for conflict management, leadership development, scheduling, all of those different things, so that they can be successful in that realm as well.
Excellent. And I think this is the piece where I start talking about that co-curricular element. What sorts of things are you guys doing from the academic side to prepare students for maybe careers in the esports industry, perhaps as a director of a program like yourself, or doing something like shoutcasting, broadcasting, those sorts of things as well?
Yeah. So we have quite a few different things going on. So we launched this past summer a series called the Esports Career Chats, where we did interviews with industry experts that came in and talked about all of the different careers. So you can find all of those on YouTube if anybody's interested in catching those. But then we also really make it a point to give our students experiences where they can test out some of those things. So you use shoutcasting as an example, Monica. Our DePaul Gaming League has shoutcasting shoutcasting opportunities for all of our students. So they can come in and on a weekly basis, they can shoutcast any one of our titles if they have an interest in a specific title or a different title. They can come in and have that experience in a highly produced, high production setting. So all of those different components, we're finding ways where we're giving students that chance to do it. Also, we're giving them the opportunity to create things and contribute in things that you might not necessarily think about. So, shoutcasting automatically comes to mind, right? Well, there's also people that are working with event production, right? Like we have a lot of esports event production. So we have students creating esports events. We have our students making all of our videos, our graphic design, all of those different components so that they can have a real world experience to give them that experience for their resume as they head into a career with this. And we're really, really lucky at DePaul. We have a lot of faculty that are very interested in esports, and they're finding ways to integrate it into their curriculum. So it's not just this thing that you do co-curricularly anymore. You can come to DePaul and you can find out from industry leaders about how to integrate this into your real career. We've got some new classes launching in the spring quarter that are esports centric that I think are really going to be a great experience for students.
Absolutely. That hands on experience is super invaluable when it comes to the college experience. Experiential Learning Center, I was a frequent flyer in my alma mater. Definitely getting that sort of thing so you can kind of go through and figure out, I like this, I don't like this, but this is for me. And I really love how you are setting your students up for success in that realm.
And it's like, one of the things that we frequently talk about, the NCAA used to have this phrase, and they would talk about their student athletes, and they'd say that most of our students are going pro in something other than sport. And like, that's the case for our student gamers, like they're coming to school to get their degree. And we want you to have a great time with our program. If you go pro, great. But like most realistically, you're probably not going to go pro, like you're not going to have a full-time career in gaming. But you might have a full-time career in game design, or you might have a full-time career in publishing or in like writing, creating marketing plans or writing articles or shoutcasting, all of these other things. Like that's in my opinion, that's what's really important for students. Like go somewhere, whether it's DePaul or somewhere else, go somewhere that you're going to be able to get that amazing academic experience so that you are the first person that an employer wants to hire when you graduate.
Yep, all those soft skills that you learn through gaming, through the esports community, through the gaming community, it just all piles up and then makes you an awesome candidate for whatever you want to do. Absolutely. And then, Courtney, the last thing I'd like to ask here is from your perspective as an esports director, and thinking about the prospective students who are listening to or watching this interview now, who are going about the college search process, which can sometimes be hectic and overwhelming, what are some pieces of advice you can leave these students with as they navigate the college search process for esports programs specifically from your perspective as a director? Some things that maybe they should know that they don't know, or some secret tips and tricks you might have up your sleeve.
Yeah. So I think a couple things come to mind. I think first, your major is probably going to change. So with you as a 18, 19-year-old freshman, like if you're that age, you're probably going to go to school and your major is going to change again, whether you go to DePaul or somewhere else. So go somewhere that has a lot of different things or areas that you could potentially be interested in, so that if you do decide to change or adapt, you have that flexibility to do so. Because I think going to doing your research about your institution is really, really important. I think the other thing that I always recommend to students, and again, taking off my DePaul and hiding the logo here in the background, but no matter who you are, where you're going, look at your entire scholarship package, because you're not only making a decision about what type of classes you're going to be taking, but you're also making a financial decision that's going to impact you potentially for years to come if you're taking out student loans. So make sure that you fully understand what your scholarship package includes. If it includes esports scholarships or not, you just want to make sure that you are setting yourself up the best that you can for years to come. DePaul does not currently offer esports scholarships, but we do offer a really robust scholarship program. And we have a whole lot of different opportunities for students to get supplemental funding. So you just want to make sure when you're sitting down for that, it might be really appealing that you're getting something titled, this scholarship or this thing, but make sure you understand what your bottom dollar payment is going to be and how that's going to affect you for the future. I think a lot of people overlook that, and it really is something that's gonna, can impact you for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. That financial fit is definitely within that trifecta. Good financial
Mhm.
fit, good social fit, good academic fit, I'd say are the top three guys. So do your
That hits it.
research.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Courtney, any last words about DePaul's esports program before I let you go this afternoon?
Yeah, I would just say whether if you're, for our students watching, whether want to be a competitor or if you're just looking to go somewhere that has people that you can connect with through gaming, take a look at DePaul. We are that community. We have a very robust casual community if you just want to come and play when it's convenient for you. Or if you want to compete at the highest level, we compete in the Big East. We compete in a number of different conferences, and there's a space for you for that as well. So, as you're looking, we'd welcome you to consider us. You can check out our Discord at discord.gg/DePaul Esports or shoot us an email at esports@depaul.edu.
Excellent. Thanks for that plug at the end there, guys. You heard it here first. Thanks again, Courtney, for your time today, and good luck this year.
Thanks so much. It was nice chatting with you. Bye,
Likewise.
everybody.